Hello, welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all of the places you can find me should be linked in the description box below this video. Welcome to what I hope will be the first of a fun little series of videos here on the channel. It's a knitting vlog and I have been inspired to take another idea from the world of book YouTube. So for those of you who followed for a while, you know that I pop up book reviews and I also watch a few booktubers, as they dub themselves. And one of the videos that you see fairly often is that a couple of booktubers will get together and they will send books to each other for each other to read. So another booktuber chooses a reading list for someone else, and I thought this was a really fun idea and I wondered if I could translate it to knitting. So I thought it would be quite fun to reach out to a few people and ask whether they had a recommendation for projects or yarn that they think that I should knit with or try out. So yeah, welcome to the first in an other knitter chooses my project. So the other day a lovely package arrived for me. I reached out to the wonderful Alex of LaightNightKnits, and I'll link Alex's channel below, and asked her if she would be interested in getting involved in this idea. And she said that she didn't have time to do a swapsy, as in I recommend something for her and she recommends something for me, but she would be happy to pick out something for me. So she very kindly spent some time coming up with a few different suggestions for things that she thought I might be interested in knitting. And I ordered myself a little kit and it arrived the other day. So I think I've got a little snippet of me unwrapping the package. So if I've still got that, fingers crossed, I'll pop that in here. Okay, so this is my package. Look at those beauties. Aren't they gorgeous? So this is yarn from Schiller's There, and it is a kit for a hat. I have two of their beautiful yarns here, hand dyed on Sky, and this one is dyed with Madder, and this is the natural colourway. Yes, I have these two absolutely glorious skeins from Schiller's There yarns. This is the Ciara Hat kit, hand dyed on Sky using Madder, which is this lovely sort of deep rusty orangey red, and a natural. And it is coincidental that we ended up going for this orangey colour. As you know, if you followed here for a while, oranges are my favourites, but there were a few different kit options that we looked at that were sold out, and this particular combo was in stock. So Alex very kindly, I think it came down to two different colour choices in the end, and Alex very kindly plumped for the Madder kit for me. So yes, I'm going to be casting on the Ciara hat, and I'll pop a picture up on the screen of what that hat looks like. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to cast on, and this yarn is absolutely beautiful, I have to say. The pattern is designed from Charlotte at Sky Knits, and it's using the Schiller's There Coara, C-O-A-R-A 4-ply yarn. And the yarn comprises of 70% Blueface Leicester and 30% Shetland yarn. Along with the yarn, I had a couple of really lovely postcards in my package from Schiller's There. There is their card there. All our yarns and fabrics are dyed in our dye studio on the Isle of Skye. By combining plant dyes with our own spring water, we are continuing an ancient Scottish craft. Natural dyes give a beautifully unique colour palette, but do require special care. And then the leaflet goes on to say how to carry out that care. And then this one is just a sort of beautiful business card, and I love, there's a little map here saying we are here. I'll link to the Schiller's There website below, but it's schillersthereYarns.com. So yes, this yarn has just a beautiful hand to it. It's really soft and squishy. It's got a really nice squish factor. I'm really looking forward to winding this up and getting cast on. So let's get to that, and we can start knitting, and I'll take you on this journey with me. And a huge thank you to Alex for picking out some beautiful yarn. I've never knit with Ciara Hat before, and so far, from what I'm feeling of this yarn, I'm absolutely gonna love this project. So thank you so much, Alex, for picking such a fabulous yarn for me to start this little vlog series with. The time has finally come to cast on my Ciara Hat. I had a bit of a delay to this project. It's approaching the end of April, and the footage you saw of me unwrapping the package was back at the end of March. The hat kit was meant to come with a download code for the hat pattern on Ravelry, and on the label the download code bit was blank. So I've emailed Ciara Hat twice trying to get a code that was meant to come as part of the kit, and I've had absolutely no response from them whatsoever, which is a little bit disappointing, but it's a small business, and I know what it's like. Sometimes things go into your spam folder and you don't always check that. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's not the worst thing in the world. But I've ended up buying the pattern on Ravelry so I can get started. So it's Saturday the 24th, and it's virtual Wonderwall weekend this weekend. Wonderwall is a big yarn festival here in Wales. Obviously with pandemic, we still can't meet in person. So I have signed up to a couple of the workshops that they've got. So I'm going to be sitting on some Zoom talks this morning. So I thought it'd be a good time to get started on this project. I'm keeping it in this absolutely gorgeous bag that was sent to me by Lydia. Hi Lydia, if you are watching. And this bag has had another long hibernating project in it, and I figured it was high time to evict the project that's not getting worked on, because I love this bag so much. So yeah, I'm going to cast on and see how far I can get while I'm watching a few talks this weekend. Before we get zooming, it's a lovely day up there, so I'm going to take advantage of that, and I think I'm going to take my project outside with my morning cuppa, sit in the sun for half an hour, and hopefully get started. I have been enjoying a lovely John Arbon webinar. Lots of interesting information about the John Arbon mill, and a great question and answers session at the end of that talk. I'm queuing up now to listen to another talk, so one straight after another, about carding for spinning, which I'm really looking forward to. But I thought I'd just quickly pop in and show you my knitting progress. So I'm well into the brim now. I think I've only got a few rounds left. I didn't have the right size sort of small circumference circular for the brim, so I'm doing a bit of a magic loop, which on the length of needle I've got is a little bit faffy, but it's working, it's doing what I need to do. And then once I get into the main body of the hat, I've got a circular needle, which will make things a lot easier. So I'm looking forward to getting to that point. But I'm going to keep knitting for a while, and hopefully by the end of this second talk, my brim will be finished. Hat brim is finished. Finished that while listening to that second webinar from Wonderful, a fascinating talk about using hand carders in fleece preparation. Learned so much from that, so I'm putting some of the tips I learnt into practice next time I'm using my hand cards. But I now get to switch from this slightly awkward magic loop affair to a short circular, so hopefully my knitting will maybe start speeding up, we shall see. I'll be getting onto the colour work portion soon. So yeah, a lovely way to spend a couple of hours this morning, starting a new project, listening to some really interesting webinars. I think I might make myself some lunch now and then see if I can crack on with the main body of this hat this afternoon. Fast forward 24 hours, it's now Sunday morning. You can probably tell by the scruffy hair. You know what Sundays are like if you've been here for a while. I did start the colour work portion of my hat yesterday, so this is the progress of the first 24 hours of my beautiful Ciara hat. I wasn't feeling particularly well yesterday afternoon. I had this really weird, came over me all of a sudden, and I had to go and lie in bed for most of the afternoon. But I did pick this up again yesterday evening, and as you can see, I've started the colour work portion. I think the chart's about 40-ish rows and I've done about 10, so I'm about a quarter of a way through the colour work chart. Is it any surprise that I am loving this beautiful orangey colourway? No, it's not, is it? I'm going to continue to knit on this today and hopefully put in a few more hours on this today. I don't have any plans other than house chores, and who wants to do those, let's be honest. So yeah, I'm planning on concentrating on this for the whole day more or less, between all of the necessary stuff. It's Monday lunchtime-ish, and I thought I'd check in and show you what's going on with my Ciara hat. So yesterday I did add a few more rows to the colour work section, not as many as I'd hoped to for a Sunday, but I kind of got a bit distracted with other things, and that's okay. As you can see, the pattern is well and truly starting to emerge now. I think I'm just under halfway through the colour work chart now. I'm going to do a little bit of work on this now. I feel like I'm in some sort of YouTube inception type moment, because I'm currently trying to get some video uploaded to YouTube. I'm uploading my mending video. I'm watching back my video while adding in links and cards and things like that. So I thought while I'm editing and watching through that video on YouTube, I could add a few extra rows to the Ciara. So yeah, YouTubing while YouTubing. It's a thing, right? So my video is scheduled to upload later this evening, and I managed to knit a couple of extra rows on the hat. Not too many, but I'm at the halfway through the chart stage now, which is good. And people do sometimes ask me how I manage to fit so much knitting time into my day. And I think it's because I do things like this. I mean, I do get the opportunity to sit and knit most evenings, but if I am doing something which doesn't require my full attention and use of my hands, then I quite often try and take that opportunity to getting a row or two through the day as well. And you'll be surprised at how quickly something grows just by adding a little bit here and there. It's Monday evening, about 9 p.m. I thought I'd do a quick check-in. So I managed to get a few more rows knit earlier this evening before I had to make dinner and all that kind of stuff. So this is where I am at on the hat now. As you can see, the pattern is well and truly established, and I'm really enjoying how this is looking. I just love this beautiful orangey colour, sort of a terracotta almost, I think, a bit darker than terracotta. I've got about 13 rows of the colourwork chart left to go, and James is on a video chat with his mates this evening, so I am going to pop some background telly on. I'm going to put some Criminal Minds on and hopefully knit, not all then, hopefully at least most of the rest of the colourwork chart, and then that will leave me with the decreases to do tomorrow. Good morning, good morning. At least it's morning for me. Tuesday morning check-in for my hat project. It's early in the morning. I've got my cuppa, I've got my bowl of bran flakes. And as I didn't finish knitting until, I don't know, about 11 o'clock last night, I didn't do another check-in, but I thought I would share my progress. Colourwork is done. I thought about it. I thought actually it's a good place just to chat about a couple of things that I've been doing in my colourwork, in case people are interested in detail, and as this is a vlog about a specific project, then why not? So the colourwork chart on this was a 12 stitch pattern repeat, and I don't know if you can notice, I put in stitch markers every 24 stitches or so, so for every 2 colour repeats. I often do that when I'm working colourwork, particularly on longer rows, because it just kind of helps to keep you on track if you're only concentrating on a couple of pattern repeats at a time. But for this particular pattern, once you established, so if we look at this kind of section here, for instance, you can see there's kind of a square cube, sort of almost like a 3D cube shape happening here. And once you establish the pattern at this point where it sort of changes, so if you can see below here we've got the orange, and then up above here we've got the white, and vice versa. Once you've established this sort of change in colour at this point here, it's a fairly intuitive pattern to get the pattern repeat. So there was only one point where I needed to really employ the use of my stitch markers, and I'd realised that I'd gone wrong in that section, and that was yesterday when I was trying to edit my video as well as knit my colourwork, and I only went wrong once. And when you pop in your stitch markers like this, you know you've only got like a few stitches at a time to deal with and figure out where you've gone wrong, so you only have to unpick, well, in this case a maximum of 24 stitches, but I only had to go back a few in my case. So yeah, I like to employ a bunch of stitch markers. I'm sure most of you who knit colourwork are already aware of that tip, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning, particularly as you might have seen all these stitch markers jingling off my knitting and wondering what was going on. The other thing, before I go on, and it's not necessarily to do with the colourwork, but I'm really enjoying working with this yarn. I'm finding this is a non-superwash yarn, I'm finding more and more that I'm drawn to non-superwash yarns rather than superwash yarns. And I love, this is obviously a small produced yarn, and I love that these yarns have quite a bit of character to them. When I say character, I mean they're not 100% even all the way through. As I'm knitting with this, there are bits that are slightly thinner, bits that are slightly thicker, and it doesn't affect the like knitting at all. But I just love that kind of extra character, the extra kind of naturalness. I want to say rustic, but that word seems to get used quite a lot in the YouTube knitting world to mean slightly scratchy rather than sort of the earthy kind of definition. But when I say rustic, I mean that kind of earthiness, that basic naturalness. I'm not explaining myself very well. Hopefully you get my drift. So yeah, this has been a thoroughly enjoyable project so far. Probably helped in part that, you know, it's my favourite colour. So that's always going to bias me in its favour, of course. But I'm very hopeful that I'm going to get this project finished today. I've just got the decreases to go now for the crown. And then I shall give this a quick soak to try and even it out. I am slightly worried that I have made some of my floats a little bit tight. I think it'll be okay in the blocking. Just to be aware in case you are thinking about tackling this pattern, for most of the rows the colour work is such that you are knitting a maximum of 5 stitches, but there are a couple of points where the floats are slightly longer than that. I think it's a bit hard to kind of demo when it's on the needles, but I think I've left, you know, plenty of stretch in this. But yeah, I'm slightly worried that my colour work might be a bit tight in places, but I think it's going to be fine. It's a bit difficult to tell when it's bunched up on the needles. But yeah, just to kind of bear that in mind if you are thinking about tackling this fabulous pattern. Not often, but there are a few stretches where there's a slightly sort of longer block of stitches in one colour. Right, I'm going to drink my tea and finish my breakfast, and then I've got to crack on with some work. But I will definitely be taking this hat project along with me during the day, so if there's any time where I'm waiting for stuff to finish doing on the computer, or if I've got downtime for 5 minutes, then I'll add another row or two, and that will hopefully mean this vlog can go up at some point this week, fingers crossed. Just hijacking this vlog for a second because something really intriguing has just popped through the door, and I thought, as this is a vlog where we're just following through my days as well as my knitting project, I might just open this on camera. So this little package has arrived. I'm not going to show you the front because obviously that's got address details for myself and for the sender on there, but this has come all the way from Canada, from Kelly, and I'm not expecting anything, so I'm assuming that Kelly has sent me a surprise. So let's dig in and see what we've got. Ooh, something's popped out there. Oh fab, look, it's a set of crochet hooks on a key holder, which is perfect for mending. Brilliant. So thank you so much for those, Kelly, and I know there's some more in the package. They just happened to fly out. Oh, everything's flying out. Let's see what we've got. Right, envelope is empty. So there's a really cute pin which says "If I Fits," and there's a cat crammed into a box. Love that, thank you. Oh, a plie mousse. Love that. Love that for me. I'm going to stitch that onto one of my project bags. Thank you so much. If you followed the channel for any length of time, you know I have this weird obsession with mousse. And then there is not sure if you guys have wacky packages in the UK, but my husband collects them. I thought you might get a kick out of this one. P.S. It's a sticker. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I don't know if you can see that. English Brexit tea bag, the tea that leaves. I do love that, thank you so much. Wacky packages, 50th anniversary, crazy politics stickers. Love it. And there's a couple more things. My daughter and I had a crafty evening recently, so I made a pair of these for you, Erin, and myself, and Kelly and Erin are cousins. Oh wow, look at those, they're amazing. They're like polymer clay, I guess, earrings that have a knit stitch pattern in them. Zoom in on that, isn't that gorgeous? I'm going to pop those in now. I haven't got any earrings in today. I love those, thank you so much. And then there's one more package in here, great big woolly hugs, and Kelly made me this pouch which has great big woolly hugs on there too. Oh, it's a real shame to open this. So it looks like two book pages stitched together, which is really fun, but there's definitely something inside, so I am going to assume this is meant for me to open. This feels a bit wrong. I'll try and keep that intact because that will be really cool to pop into my journal, and I can have a little pocket to stick some things in. Oh, and there are some yummy teas in here and a little note. So I won't read the note because that's a little bit more personal to me, but I have lovely Moroccan mint and pretty much probably my favourite stash tea that I've tried in recent times, which is the Christmas in Paris flavour. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kelly. You are amazing. Mwah. So as you can see, I'm using the blocking over a balloon method for just stretching out my colour work a little bit. I have this pack of balloons that I bought ages ago hanging around the house, which is why I'm still using them. For future, once those balloons have run out, I probably won't buy balloons again because plastic, you know, we don't need it, and it's just for blocking. So I just thought it'd be worth mentioning because I have made this mistake myself in the past. I think the first time I attempted this blocking out over a balloon, I pumped the balloon up really quite big, and it actually stretched my ribbing out. So now I try to make sure that my ribbing is quite sort of loose. It's got plenty of room underneath that. So if you can see where the balloon starts to taper off, my ribbing is sort of coming in and round, because you don't want, once you've stretched your ribbing out, it can be, depending on the yarn that you use, it can be difficult to get it to sort of shrink back in, and you want that ribbing to sort of stretch and change in shape in order to keep your hat on your head properly. It wouldn't be the case for all yarns. For some yarns you'd be able to just reblock and it'd shrink back in, but yeah, for some yarns, once you've stretched them out, there's not really any going back. So yeah, just something to bear in mind. And it's tricky to handle this now. Yeah, so just something to bear in mind, a mistake that I've made in the past that I thought might be worth mentioning. It's a nice sunny day today, so I'm going to pop this in the garden, and hopefully I'll be wearing my hat later. It's done. Ciara Hat is finished. So I am well pleased with how that has turned out. It's been outside just for a couple of hours, drying in the sunshine, and I think it's blocked the colour work out really nicely. I think my concern about some of the floats being too tight was definitely unfounded. It's blocked out really nicely, and I'm just trying to see if I can figure out where the back is. I think that's the back. That's what the hat looks like when it's on. This is going to be a really light but extremely warm and cosy hat to keep me warm when I need it in the autumn and winter. Don't need it right now. Whew, it's actually Really hot wearing that in here today. So yeah, final thoughts. Beautiful yarn. I would definitely use it again. I really enjoyed the pattern. The pattern comes with suggestions for all sorts of variations. So I think there are variations for how to do the ribbing, how to kind of alternate how you're working with the colours. So yeah, it's a lovely pattern to work with. This beautiful madder colourway is just glorious, isn't it? Really enjoy it. I think an adventurous beginner could definitely tackle this project. As I mentioned earlier, some of the sort of colourwork floats are fairly long, but as long as you keep your tension okay, then you'll be absolutely fine. The pattern is really lovely to work up. So yeah, I think that's it for this vlog. I have really enjoyed getting someone else to choose my knitting project. So a massive thank you to the lovely Alex of Late Night Knits, and again I'll link Alex's channel above, for choosing the yarn and the project for me. I think, yeah, it's been a delight to have all of the decisions sort of taken out of my hands, and to try out a yarn and a pattern that might not otherwise have been on my immediate radar. I have had a lot of fun making this project, and I have enjoyed the whole experience of someone else choosing my knitting enough to definitely want to dip my toes in that again. So we'll see what response I get to the video. Maybe this will be something I do every few months. And perhaps I'll open it up to folks from the Yarn and Yarns community to suggest a pattern or some yarn for me to try out. Or maybe you have a favourite podcaster that you'd like me to reach out to see if they would be interested in choosing a project for me. So what I might do is open that up to the Yarn and Yarns Patreon community first. So if you're a member of the Patreon community, then look out for a new post from me. I'll pop a post up over there at some point in the next couple of weeks asking if anyone out there wants to pick my project or wants to suggest someone else who they'd like to see me reach out to see if they would be interested in choosing my project. And then if I don't get any takers over on Patreon, then perhaps I'll open it up to the wider community. We shall see. It's a work in progress. We'll see how it goes. But for now, we have reached the end of the journey, the end of the Ciara Hat, worked in that beautiful Shiller's yarn, chosen for me by the lovely Alex of Late Night Knits. I hope you have enjoyed this knitting vlog. I'll be back again soon with some more content here on the channel, so I hope you will join me for that. But until we get to spend time together again, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.